Breaking news! A new episode of Let's Be Frank starting now! Hello all! Scarlet and Violet has officially released. I got Scarlet, and I have been loving it so far. I have got a couple complaints about the game, but we're not really here to talk about, complaints or anything. Once I actually finish the game, I can give a more broad answer to my true feelings about the game. But for now, I want to give no spoilers, because like I said, I'm only like halfway through. I got like half the badges. And so I just wanted to talk about one main thing in particular. Like I said, for now, if you want to hear more later, don't worry, there'll be time for that. But I want to talk about Terastallization. A while back, I wanted to do a video where I compared Mega Evolution, Z moves, and Gigantamaxing. And just kind of talk about which one I thought was best, pros and cons of all, and, probably which one I thought was the worst. And then, the Pokemon Company announced Terastallization for Scarlet and Violet. And I was like, okay, now I gotta wait until the game's out, then I can make the video so I can do all four together. And I still want to do that. That's kind of what I want to do today. So, again, without talking about spoilers for the game, just really quick, let me say, I love it. I've been having so much fun exploring just everywhere in this game. Like, this game is truly open world. I have spent so many hours in this game already. Honestly, for the first few hours of gameplay, I was just exploring and catching every new Pokemon I could find. But all you guys need to know for now is that I'm trucking through it at a good pace. I feel like nobody should have beaten this game by now, unless you're able to play like all day long. It's only been out for a week. So if you've been enjoying the game, let me know down in the comments below, and let's start talking about Terastallization. In comparison to the other three gimmicks from past games, again, Mega Evolution, Z moves, and Gigantamax, I think it's solid. I really do. And I love the raid dens in this game versus Sword and Shield. They weren't bad in Sword and Shield, but they took up a lot of time. Scarlet and Violet raid battles, a minute or two. Sword and Shield, you're looking at 5 or more. Most of the time, more. As far as the gimmick itself goes, of changing the Pokemon's type temporarily or buffing the type they already have, it's not bad. It doesn't introduce us to any new forms, which is fine. As we saw from a lot of the Gigantamax forms in Sword and Shield, not a lot of Pokemon need a new form. Everybody loves big chunky Pikachu and whatnot, but you look at Meowth, Pikachu, Eevee, Garbodor, none of them really changed much. It's almost like they just got bigger, huh? And I guess you can kind of see some of my opinions on Gigantamax coming through already, but all in all, my only main complaint with Terastallization is that you need to recharge the seal or whatever at a Pokemon Center after every use. That's a big hindrance. Like, I can understand having to recharge it if you could just have to do that manually, like from your bag, unlike Mega Evolution or Z moves, which every new battle the Pokemon can do that. I'm not big into competitive, so I don't know what Terastallization means for the competitive scene, but judging by what I've heard some people say who are into competitive, it could be big. Now let's work our way backwards. Gigantamax. It was fine. I remember when I first started playing through Sword and Shield, I didn't mess with a single raid den. Not at all. Not until after I beat the game. Because I just didn't care. It's something you could only use in raid dens or gym battles. You can't just randomly Gigantamax in any battle whenever you want. And that's fine, it gave some Pokemon new forms. It just made a lot more Pokemon bigger. It's not really my thing. Gigantamaxing is very similar to Mega Evolution. It's just taking away your moves and giving you these generic moves instead. I prefer to be able to use the moves my powered up Pokemon had to begin with. Maybe that's just me. Again, I don't play competitive. I know in the competitive scene, Gigantamaxing was almost a must. So all in all, I'm not really grading these or ranking them, but Gigantamax is kind of the middle of the road for me. It was fun while it lasted, but am I going to miss it in future games? No, I'm not. Moving backwards again to Z-moves, on the other hand, Z-moves never took for me. I used them in the games a little bit, like when I was up against a totem Pokemon that I knew was going to be stronger, or maybe the Elite Four and Champion, just when I needed to, but there's really no point in using a Z-move in any old normal battle. I mean, the animations just take so long most of the time, and it just kind of delays the process of knocking the Pokemon out. Sun and Moon wasn't really that hard of a game to begin with. A lot of people said it like upped the difficulty from like X and Y. I can see that, but they still weren't difficult games. Not like Scarlet and Violet. I've had a lot of close calls in these games as far as like wiping completely. Honestly, I don't really have much to say about Z moves. They were fine. I don't... a little below average. I definitely enjoyed Gigantamaxing more because it felt like, oddly enough, it just felt like more of a spectacle. Something that you could just feel the energy of. Z Crystals, it really did just feel like a cheap gimmick. And I know that's exactly what it was. It was just a gimmick, but it just felt cheap. Unlike Mega Evolution, which I think we can all agree was the absolute best gimmick. And it came first, so maybe that's just nostalgia talking. No, but seriously, Mega Evolution is cool. You take Pokemon who, you know, were unusable, but not unusable, maybe competitively unusable, but you take Pokemon who needed that extra oomph, that extra push, and you just give it to them. Mawile, Sableye, Manectric, you know? Camerupt even. Pokemon that just needed that extra push, but you didn't want to give them a brand new evolution, you know? Now they also gave Mega Evolution to a lot of Pokemon who didn't need it, like Aggron or Actually, Aggron lost its rock typing, which actually helped a bit. Fine, Aggron could use it. Salamence, Garchomp, Scizor, no, I don't think they needed Mega Evolution. They look pretty cool, so they introduced us to some cool new forms, but seeing a Pokemon you put a lot of time and effort into grow even stronger, plus Ultra, beyond their previous limit, is just really satisfying. I just didn't get that same satisfaction from seeing a Pokemon Gigantamax, you know? All the new forms introduced were great, you know? Their Mega Evolved forms, they all improve upon the original design with, you know, there are definitely some exceptions. I do think Garchomp is actually an exception. No, I can't think of anything else that doesn't look cooler with Mega Evolution. Tyranitar, you got frickin' Pidgeot, looks a heck of a lot better. Even with just those minute changes and all that. All in all, I would say Mega Evolution's been my favorite so far. It may just be because I'm in the middle of it right now, but Terastallization probably second. I'm really enjoying what it's doing. Gigantamax is third, being fine, and Z-moves are last. If they brought back Z-moves, which without doing that to Mega Evolution would be a crime, but if they brought back Z-moves, I'd slap them onto my Pokemon, and I wouldn't complain. I'd complain if they didn't also bring back Mega Evolution, because they existed in the same region at the same time, so you could do it. But for now, that's all I have to say. I did just want to briefly mention how I feel about the new games, but I'll go much more in depth in a few weeks. It won't be next week or the week after, but just give me a few weeks and we'll be talking about this game again. I know there are so many YouTubers already talking about the game, so I'm going to be way behind the schedule. But Pokemon isn't my job, unfortunately, so I can only play for a little bit at a time. And you know what? Once you get all the other guys out of the way, come on back to Let's Be Frank for that reinvigorated passion for Scarlet and Violet and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions. But for right now, I think that just about does it for today. If you like this video, why don't you give it a like and subscribe if you have not already. Follow my Instagram and Facebook at Let's Be Frank 2020, and follow my TikTok at Let's Be Frank TikTok. I've been posting about a lot of my food crimes on there lately. Apparently they're crimes. I don't think they're crimes. Why don't you be the judge? Go follow my TikTok and tell me if eating strawberry tops is a bad thing. Alright, with all that being said, thank you once again so very much for watching, and until next time!